Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, my Royal Oak is back from service, so let's talk about that. First I want to thank everyone who has been subscribing, almost at 20,000, that's really cool, although most views for most videos come from people who are not subscribed, so yeah, if you like this watch, maybe give it a like, give it a subscription. And I hope you like my nice little background there. That's the 5970 reference by Patek, just a gorgeous piece. But we're not here to talk about Patek. We're here to talk about Audemars Piguet. That's the very nice pouch that you get from a service, at least here in Hong Kong. Always love those pouches. I got one from Patek, one from Cartier. And it's great if you have, like in my case here, both the watch without box and papers. That's one nice little item to have with the watch. And indeed, I did order some sort of paper. It is the extract from the archives. It is not printed. It is electronic now to save the planet. But between you and I and the tree next door, I will print it on a nice piece of paper. Seems a bit more official like that. But now I get to know more. So I knew that the watch was released in 1999, and indeed this one in the register, it is registered as the 15th of September 1999. So it is celebrating very soon its 24th year. Pretty good. So it did need, it was in need of a little bit of service. So I went to what is called the AP House, which is also a shop. It's more like a gentleman's club, if you like, or more like a club lounge type of place where you can go talk about AP with the AP staff, buy watches, or at least put yourself on an endless wait list for watches and have a service. And what's great is that they are local. Their in-house watchmaker was there to have a chat, and yeah, we could reflect a bit on this reference and talk a bit about the watch on his wrist as well. And it's nice to hear it from someone who has worked in Le Brassus and who's interested really in the inner workings of watches. I think a lot of people buy the Royal Oak for the image, don't really care about the movement. It is true. I mean, it is a bracelet as much as it is a watch, and actually on some models, the finishing of the bracelet will cost more than the innards of the watch, perhaps. Anyway, this one from the archives, it is a reference 25920 ST. .00.0789 ST.01. Okay, there's a couple of versions. There's one with a, I think, less attractive dial, a bit more empty on the outskirts, everything cramped a bit more to the center. And there's also a yellow gold version, actually. So 36 millimeters. That's not a scratch. That's a hair. Sorry. 36 millimeters. As you can see, I mean, close from the camera, it wears almost big, right? Whereas normal from further afar. I'm a big guy, and I guess it works well these days where people want to have smaller watches. I think only when you turn it around, the quite thin tapering betray a bit more the size, but otherwise it is a design. As I said, it's designed to be a bracelet. Even more than a watch, maybe a bracelet first, with the full integration here of the bracelet into the core of the case. So doesn't matter how much you reduce it, you still have that bracelet effect. Of course, it won't be as large here. So not maybe as perfect as the original design, the 39 millimeter, the current jumbo, the one that everybody wants, the 15202 or 16202. But I think it's still nicer than the blown up versions, the larger ones. I'm not too fond of the 41 millimeters unless you have a very big wrist. And of course, this one has a blue dial, which is always nicer in an AP world. with the French language on the quirky subdial for the month, and you have a radial date. So since the watchmaker was there, I asked him, "Hey, you've seen many Royal Oaks. What do you think of the finishing?" You know, some people were very quick to comment on my first video about this watch, that it was refinished and all that, and I wasn't doubting it. You know, the watch is turning 24, so a good chance that it would have had a refinish. But he had to really take a very good look at it, and he thinks, yeah, probably refinished once, and probably in-house, or at least by someone who really knows what they do, because you want to have the bevels to be elegant and symmetrical. And yeah, he points out that perhaps those bevels are a bit larger than they would have been at the origin, but I think, you know, the brushing is still very, very nice. Especially I like the brushing on the bezel. Yeah, I haven't spent much time comparing with archives, pictures of the same reference. It's true that the polishing is a big part of the watch, beyond the shape, the octagonal shape, and the integration of the bracelet, the crown as well is part of it, and the screws. As you remember, when I got it, one of the screw was slightly protruding. I didn't want to touch it myself. It's white gold, so AP have put it back. You can see everything is nice and flush. So the bezel has not been repolished down to a level where the screws would stick out, which is when usually you would want to replace the bezel. It wears very thin, wears very well. A lot of cool factor, and yeah, the watch when I got it was running too fast, and rather than bring it back to the dealer, I thought, let's give it proper care. It's in my custody now. This piece, which is quite historical, because it's only made in a few hundred pieces. You know, I don't know if they made more than 400 of these, and yeah, I'm the custodian of it now. So you want to be taking good care of it. I don't know if I'll keep it forever, and while it's under my care, I'll give it the best attention that I can, and I'll give it the AP service, which in the end didn't cost too much. It's about $1,000 US. I thought that the extract from the archive, especially not being printed, is pretty expensive. It costs over $500 to get that. So it's a bit disproportionate, right? Just a PDF file compared to opening up the watch and servicing it, not polishing it, of course. But it is what it is. At least now I have a bit of a set with the extract of the archive, official box, and a watch that is now running on pretty much at zero, with a very strong amplitude in all the positions, actually. So surprisingly strong amplitude. The movement at the base is Jaeger-LeCoultre, right? And there's a module for the annual calendar, which was a complication invented by Patek, as you know, and yeah, I guess AP thought they could add it to the watch. I don't know if it was popular or not, why they stopped making it. I'm sure they have many plants, and maybe it will come back again into the range. And yeah, the watchmaker was saying he had actually serviced one of those before, and not long ago, and it was interesting for him to see another one. Interesting little reference. And yeah, the wait list for a jumbo is very long, and basically it's reserved for the minor celebrities, offsprings of billionaires here in Hong Kong. You know, it makes the salespeople feel better if they have on their WhatsApp someone who's mildly famous in the newspaper locally. So yeah, the price difference between this and getting a brand new 16202 is not that different, I suppose. But what I like about this one is that there's no competition coming. You know, they did it for a year or two, a few hundred pieces, and then they stopped making the complication. So it makes it um, more stable, I think, in the market, rarer for sure than any of the references. You know, the 15202 is replaced by the 16202. There'll be the 17202, and always big demands for those, and probably a lot more of those made than of this one. So, to me, made sense to purchase this one with the Grand Tapisserie. I believe that's the Grande Tapisserie, done the old-fashioned way on engine turning machine. Very quirky. Now, something that's very interesting, let's look at the pointer for the date, and you will see that it goes straight and then curves over the indices, but just to pass under the minute hand, while the hour hand will pass over the lower section. So it's quite an interesting way of doing it. Otherwise, it would have hit the indices. Don't know if you've seen that in other watches, other model. I thought it's something I've just noticed a couple of days ago. Thought it was very cool. It's a screwed down crown, so probably I don't know exactly what the water resistance that will be guaranteed, but yeah, I'm not worried to wear it in the rain. And you have the two pushers if you need to adjust the date and the month. You don't want to do it when the hour hand is up here. Well, actually, it's 1 in the afternoon, but just in case, always go at the bottom of the around 6 o'clock, so you're sure that the mechanisms that regulate the date and month are not engaged when you push those pushers. This is the crown, back of the watch, quantième annuel, and yeah, it's between 100 and 200 in the serial number. They're all numbered, which is cool as well. I think for historical purpose, collectability, having a numbered piece is not every day that you have that. So while it is not limited, it was limited in reality because they stopped making it after, I would say, maybe 350, maybe 400 pieces. The clasp is a bit the old-fashioned clasp, so it's interesting. I kind of hold it like this and put the slider down to close it. It's pretty elegant. Then you have to slide it back. It's easier when it's on the wrist because gravity will help you. I guess I wonder if originally, before it was, I suppose, refinished once, it would have been a bit smoother. I find it not that smooth here on the sides. While the bottom is fine and smooth. Well, there you go. I think you just saw the the number of the watch. But it's incredible when you wear this, how much it plays with the light in the elevator. You do feel quite a bit conscious when you wear a Royal Oak. It's part of the excitement of this piece, and it's, yeah, you can't doubt that some pieces make you feel special, and it is one of them. Is very recognizable, catches the light a lot, so which makes it recognized a lot more. Now about the caliber, one more word maybe there. It's the caliber 2224/2814, right? So the base is a GLC. I think it's what, 889, maybe something like that. And then limited number of pieces to have this calendar module. Maybe I would say maybe 15. You know, between 10 and 30, let's say. not so many. So it's one of the things I was asking the watchmaker Maxime there at the AP house. He's a great guy to talk to. And actually, he was showing me the chronograph code 1159. And what I really appreciated about that chronograph is that it lets you really see inside the insides of the chronograph, although it is automatic. What I find with the automatic chronographs of Patek Philippe, if it's okay to compare, is that there's not much show, right? Because the plates, the bridges will hide most of the movement. I think AP did a very nice job in the architecture of the movement to let you see. I mean, when you engage the chronograph, it is very, very impressive. That sort of triple, I don't know, clutch or whatever it is. It's very visual, very beautiful, and quite unique. I can't attest, to the longevity, the quality. I haven't had it in hand myself for a long time, but I think in terms of the when you pay so much for a chronograph of a Holy Trinity brand, you really want to see what you're paying for. And I think the AP code 1159 chronograph really lets you see a lot. So very beautiful watch, that's for sure. And I'm sure the code will be revisited quite often, and a lot of people will discover it, and maybe want that more than the Royal Oak, which is just so well known, and sometimes it becomes so popular that you want to have something else. Maybe they haven't yet done the ultimate code 1159 that will capture the hearts of the majority of watch enthusiasts, but I think it's a very beautiful watch with incredible details on the lugs, the side of the case, great movements now as well, and the dials are coming together as well. Very, very interesting and different enough from the Royal Oak. But yeah, there you go. In any case, it's great to have a stainless steel AP Royal Oak in my collection. Finally, I've considered a couple of 15300, so that's the 39mm discontinued with a Jaeger LeCoultre movement, beautifully finished with the running seconds that the Jumbo doesn't have. And I really like those a lot. The ones I've seen had a lot of scratches, all the original metal, but if you pay so much, you pay more than or the same as the retail of a Jumbo. Why pay so much for an old watch that's damaged, right? It's just, it's not quite right. I think valuations are not quite right, and I'm not saying that they didn't pay more than this is worth, but at least it's quite unique, and it's been in the market for a long time, and there's not that many of them available. But there you go. If you have more insights about this watch, please put them in the comments. If you have any question, anything you want me to look out for about it, let me know as well. And I just want to thank the guys there at the AP house, Gilbert and Maxime. Everything went very smooth. And maybe one day I'll get another Royal Oak, another AP. We'll see. It was nice to visit the AP house finally. And there you go. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Bye bye.